So who here received a stimulus check? Who here would like another one? So in today's world, the government could and should supply us with the economic means to live a fruitful life. And those means could come in the form of a universal basic income, or a UBI. Now I understand that for most people, UBI sounds like leftist propaganda, but if we look at the facts, I think you'll realize that a UBI could actually really help both the government and its people. Like many Americans, I've suffered a lot of economic hardships during the pandemic. And these hardships have led me to do extensive research on how the government could and should help us out. And this research has led me to the conclusion that a UBI would definitely be beneficial for us. The US should drop most of its welfare programs and adopt a UBI. I'll start by explaining how and why UBI should replace current welfare programs, and then we'll see why UBS is necessary in today's world, and I'll end by debunking some arguments against the UBI by showing you real world examples. So let me begin by telling you about the UBI in the United States. So replacing current welfare programs such as temporary assistance for needy families, food stamps, supplemental security income, earned income tax credit or EITC, housing assistance, and unemployment with the UBI would be administratively easier for the government, and it provides more benefits for people in need. Current welfare programs involve very tedious paperwork where a lot of time and money is lost, but a UBI would simplify this process by having simple transactions between government and people's bank accounts. So according to the IRS in 2018, the Earned Income Tax Credit Program, or EITC, sent out about $16 billion in error. That's just one program that sent out billions of dollars in error. That's cost us billions of dollars in error just because of their faulty administrative processes. A UBI would involve a direct and immediate transaction of funds, where cash can go directly to someone, greatly reducing the chances of errors and complications. So a UBI would do more to lift people out of poverty than most current welfare programs. Current welfare programs do very little to actually help people in need. According to the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities, about 1/3 of the federal TANF spending program went to areas other than direct welfare for people in need. So allocating these funds towards a UBI of about $1,000 per month for low-income citizens will provide a legitimate foundation for which people to build from and for them to become actual productive members of society. But why is a UBI or any type of financial assistance necessary in today's world? So technology has definitely changed our workplace in more ways than one. And an unfortunate side effect of this is that all these new innovations have and they will continue to replace our jobs. And on top of this, COVID-19 has and will continue to devastate our economy. So automation is expected to displace 15% of our total global workforce in just 9 more years. So without a form of income for those people who get laid off, they're not going to have a way to become productive members of society. A UBI will give those people the means necessary to learn new skills such as maintaining and fixing robots and help them become productive members of society. Now, the effects of COVID speak for themselves, and the reality is that this is something that we're going to have to deal with for a couple of years. Millions of small businesses and their employees have perished during this time, and the government's efforts to relieve them have been absolutely disastrous. With a UBI in place, the government wouldn't have to stress over complicated economic policies for its people, because they'll just have a simple process already in place. So now let's try to take a look at why so many people are against the UBI plan. UBI plans are often associated with astronomically high taxes, and on top of that, there's the fear that free cash handouts are going to disincentivize people to work. However, if we properly reallocate welfare funds to fit a UBI and we tax the right identities, it'll allow ordinary citizens to have a UBI without worry of high taxes. Moving welfare funds to cover a UBI would allow us to reduce the high taxes necessary to implement a UBI. It wouldn't be a huge reduction, but it'll help. However, according to 2020 presidential candidate Andrew Yang, by implementing a 10% value-added tax, or VAT, to the goods and services of tech companies such as Facebook, Google, Uber, that'll be enough to cover a UBI for all Americans. And the VAT, or value-added tax, isn't some new made-up tax. It's a tax that's been implemented around the world, and it's currently in Europe. And in Europe, they actually do it 20%, not just 10%. And now, contrary contrary to popular belief, cash handouts actually motivate and incentivize people to work. A study conducted by Jones and Marinescu over Alaska's Permanent Fund, a handout of about $1,000 to $2,000 a year, found that the money had absolutely no negative side effect on employment. And similarly, the Eastern Cherokee Native American tribe gives its people about $4,000 a year, and studies have shown that this money has actually helped children receive a better education and kept them out of crime. So I think these facts make it obvious that a UBI would be much more beneficial to its people and to the government than current welfare programs. UBI would help those in need, the government, and society as a whole, especially in times of need. So next time you hear someone talk about universal basic income, please don't disregard it as just leftist propaganda. This is an economic policy that can legitimately help and improve our society, and I hope that this speech has proven it to you. Dude,